Alright, welcome back to Harvest Moon Farm. Today, we're going to check out our freeze-dried hamburgers. So, I've got a package here, and I'm just going to put these 3 hamburgers in a bowl of warm water. And I'm just going to let these rehydrate while I work on some of these other things that I want to put together. So one of the things I'm going to do is put together some baked beans. So I just have a regular can of pork and beans here. And I did preheat my oven to 375. I'm actually going to go ahead and do 2 cans. Alright, so to my beans, I'm going to add some ketchup. And this is some of our, homemade ketchup. So go ahead and pour in what I've got here. And I never measure this. I just kind of eyeball everything and then stir it up and taste it. It's always been really good. So I need to go downstairs and get another one. I'm going to add a little bit of mustard. I'm going to add some barbecue sauce. I'm using store-bought because I have some in the refrigerator. I'm going to mince up some garlic. I think I'm going to go ahead and do 2 cloves. I'm just going to add some minced onion. If I had a piece of onion in my refrigerator, I would chop that up and use it, but I don't, and we won't need a whole one for this. So I'm just going to stir this all up. We're going to go ahead and add some brown sugar. Couple of tablespoons. Alright, so we're going to stir this brown sugar in here and then we'll give it a little taste. I think it needs a little more mustard. Yeah, that's better. Okay, so there's our beans. And our hamburger patties have completely rehydrated. So strange. But they look just like regular hamburger patties. So I'm just going to put some burger seasoning on there. Oh, and on our beans, I've got some of our bacon that we cooked up the other day, and I'm just going to break some pieces over the top of it. Actually, I think I will cut some pieces because these are some of the ones that weren't cooked as crispy. sprinkle this bacon over the top of our beans. Let's see. I just go ahead and do the rest of this. Okay, so now our beans are all ready. All right, so if you guys watched my last video or the one before that, I'm not sure, and you saw my carrot fail, I really want to try those. So I'm gonna give them another shot here. So I'm just gonna peel up some carrots. We'll go ahead and add these carrot peels to our bag for chicken broth, our stock bag. You don't like carrots. All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and cook these in the oven with my beans and my hamburgers. So I'm gonna go ahead and start my mixture in this baking dish and put it in the microwave to get it boiling, and then I'll add my carrots. We want 2 tablespoons of butter. Two tablespoons of brown sugar, and I'm only kind of half measuring. Tablespoon of honey. Some allspice and a half a cup of water. So we want a teaspoon of allspice and a half a cup of water. All right, so I'm going to put this in the microwave so that our butter and sugar can all melt together. While that's melting, I'm going to go ahead and cut my carrots. I'm going to cut them in smaller pieces than I cut them the other day. I'm going to go ahead and put our carrots in. Ow. And I'm going to go ahead and stir these up so that they're all coated with this honey, brown sugar, butter mixture. And then I'm going to put the lid on because I want to kind of keep some of that steam in and let them cook. So I am going to check these after 10 minutes or so because they're going to cook differently in the oven than they did on the stovetop. Okay, so I just put everything in the oven. I'm going to let it cook for about 10 minutes and then I'm going to stir those carrots up. And I just want to keep a good eye on them so that I make sure they're all getting stirred into that mixture. And then we'll be back when everything's done. All right, so the beans are done. The hamburgers are also done. And what I'm going to do with the carrots is now put them in this skillet and let them finish cooking that way so that they'll get out the brown and the thick sauce. So they're almost done. So we're going to let these boil on the stovetop, but I'm going to watch them today so I don't burn the sugar. And I'll just stir them. Oh, I guess I can turn this off. And I'll just keep stirring them while it cooks some of that water out of the sugar and honey mixture. These smell really good. While that's cooking, I'm going to go ahead and put some cheese on our hamburgers. I'm going to stick this pan of hamburgers back in just a minute so that cheese will melt. I got the oven off, but it's still hot. Oh, I just threw a carrot on the floor. Darn.
You can see how this sauce on the carrots is really cooking down and thickening up, and that's what we wanted.
Oh, now this is how these carrots should have turned out the other day. All right. So everything's done, and we usually like to eat our hamburgers without bread. So I want to try these carrots and see if they turned out like they were supposed to. Okay. Oh my. The carrots are hot, but try one. They're really hot. They taste really good when they're not burned. Oh my gosh, those are so good. All right, I'm going to taste these beans.
Beans are good. With bacon.
Everything's better with bacon.
And an avocado.
Ooh. Okay. I'm glad I tried these carrots again. This is how they should have turned out. So I'll be back with you when we are in the kitchen next. All right, this morning we are going to be making a breakfast skillet. I've got some hash brown potatoes here that have peppers and onions in them. And we are going to top that with cheese and some homemade sausage gravy. I've got some pre-cooked sausage here. And we're going to start our gravy with some bacon grease. Since this sausage is already cooked and the grease is not there. The grease has already been drained out. So I'm going to get that bacon grease melting. I'm going to go ahead and get this sausage. This is about a pound of sausage left from when we made all those breakfast items the other day. So I'm going to get this in the microwave and get it kind of thawed enough that I can break it up. All right, so now I'm going to add some flour. I'm going to add, I don't know, about that much. And I'm going to stir this into my bacon grease. And we're going to let that cook for a couple of minutes. And I think my stove must not be level. I've noticed that all of my pans kind of wobble like that, and so I might need to get my husband to level up my stove. So we're just going to cook that bacon grease and flour for, I don't know, 2 or 3 minutes. And then we'll go ahead and add some milk and salt and pepper to season it up. Alright, I don't want this to burn, so I'll go ahead and add some milk. Turn this down. I'm just going to mix this a little bit until all that flour and bacon grease is mixed into our milk and all of our little lumps are gone. Oops. And I can't use my whisk in this pan because all I have is the metal whisks and I can't use metal in these pans. But if you just keep stirring, it will take care of it. A little more milk. I'm going to add a little salt and pepper to this. Oh my goodness. Mix that in really well. And then I'm going to give it a taste. Let's taste this. Ooh, it's very hot. All right, that needs a little more salt. Try this again. Oh, that's good. Okay. So I'm going to take it off the heat. Well, I'm going to take it off this burner up here. I do have it on low on this back burner. I'm going to go ahead and add my sausage and stir that in. And I'm just going to keep this warming up until our potatoes are ready and I can put our skillets together. Alright, so I'm going to leave that there. Alright, so I'm going to get some butter melting in this other skillet. Butter's melted. I'm going to go ahead and pour about half of this bag of potatoes in. Spread them out a little bit. And I'm going to put a little salt and pepper on them. And then we're going to let these cook on this side so they can brown up, and then I'll flip them over. We want to let our potatoes get nice and crispy before we take them out of the pan, and then I'll go ahead and make up the rest of the bag. Alright, these are almost done. Alright, so we're going to go ahead and put these in our bowl. Whoa! Ow. also going to make some eggs for my husband because he likes to have eggs with his breakfast. So I am going to break them into a dish one at a time. This is some of the very last of our older eggs, so I want to make sure we don't end up with a bad egg in that batch. Alright, so these are done. And I'm just going to spray this a little bit with some vegetable spray to make his eggs. There's the first one. Oh, I broke the shell. Oh, I broke the yolk. Darn it. Alright, while those finish cooking, I'm going to go ahead and put the rest of our plate together. So what I'm going to do is, I'm going to put a pile of potatoes. Then I'm going to top that with some cheese. And I'm going to put a scoop of gravy on top of that. I'll go ahead and put my plate together now. Okay. Add some cheese to mine. And then put some gravy on top of mine. I maybe should have done a little bit less for me because that's a lot of food. Alright, so we're going to give this a try. I also got a bowl of blackberries for me because I love blackberries. Alright, let's give this a try.
Good.
That is delicious. A little salty, I think. I can't tell where the extra salt is coming from, if it's the potatoes or the gravy, but it's really good. Alright, so we're going to eat our breakfast and I will be back in a few hours to make our dinner. Alright, so we're going to start our dinner now. So I've got 2 chicken breasts here. I'm just going to cut off some of this excess fat. Looks pretty good. Okay, so I'm going to cut these pieces in half this way so that they're thinner. Alright. So we're going to cover these with plastic and we're going to use our mallet to flatten them out. We're going to season these with some lemon pepper. We're going to mix up half a cup of flour. We've got 1/4 cup of Parmesan cheese. And we want a teaspoon, I think a teaspoon of garlic powder. And then we're going to just stir this up in our bowl. Like this. Ta-da. So we're going to put some olive oil in our pan. Oops, and let it heat up. While that's heating up, we're going to dredge our chicken in our flour, cheese, and garlic powder or onion powder, I can't remember now, garlic powder mixture. Alright, so we're going to go ahead and put our, we're going to put a couple pieces of chicken in here. We're going to cook these in 2 batches. We're going to cook these about 4 or 5 minutes on each side. I turned this down a little bit. We want it to make a nice crust, but we don't want to burn it. Put some water on to start boiling, and we're going to use that to make our couscous. Alright, I'm going to take these 2 pieces out of the skillet, and I'm going to get some more oil heating up in here. Then I'm going to put these 2 pieces in. And we're going to do the same thing with those. We're going to cook them about 4 minutes. Get these pieces out. Ooh, look at that crust. Look at that. Okay, so now in our skillet, we're going to add a half a cup of dry white wine and 4 cloves of garlic. I already minced those up. And we're going to let this cook on kind of a medium low for about 4 minutes. We just want to let that wine reduce a little bit. Alright, so this is pretty well reduced. So now we're going to add 1.5 cups of chicken broth. 1 of these chicken bouillon cubes. And a teaspoon of dried mustard. So our pasta water is boiling, so we're going to put in a cup of couscous. So I put the lid on the couscous and we're just going to let that cook in this pan with the lid on it for about 7 or 8 minutes. So it should be done it should be done around the same time as our chicken. So simmering our sauce like this is going to reduce it a little bit more. It's going to thicken up some, and it's going to really concentrate all of those flavors. So our little brown bits from frying our chicken, we worked that in when we were reducing it with the wine. And this is just going to concentrate these flavors even more. So now we're going to add 3/4 of a cup of heavy cream. And we're going to just pour that in slowly, stirring it in to our chicken broth and wine and garlic mixture. We're going to add in 3 tablespoons of lemon juice. And then we're going to sprinkle in a cup of Parmesan cheese. So there's a half a cup. I'm going to stir that in. I'm going to shake this up a little bit so I can get the other half cup in without it being a big clumpy mess. Alright, so there's the other half cup. We're going to add in here, we're going to turn this down to low. We're going to add in here 2 tablespoons of butter. We're going to let that melt in. Now we're going to add our chicken back into our pan. Now that it's cooked, we'll be able to get all of it in here. All right, so I've got our couscous here, our chicken. I put the couscous and everything on the plate, and I spooned some of the extra sauce over the couscous and the chicken. And then I just warmed up some corn. I probably should have cooked something green to go with this, but corn is what I picked, so that's what we're gonna have. You wanna come taste this?
Mm-hmm.
It smells really good.
Definitely.
I'm gonna taste the couscous first. That sauce is amazing.
Go for the chicken first.
Let me see if I can get a piece off of here.
All right, the sauce.
Ooh. That is so good. Oh my goodness.
That is good.
All right. So this is gonna do it for this video. So I just want to say thanks to everybody for watching. I really appreciate it. And I will see you on the next video. Thanks. Holy cow, that's amazing.